What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp. In this episode, we're going to be talking about all the important news that happened in the stock market today, all of the plays that we're watching for tomorrow, and at the end of this video, we have a $3.6 million options trade for tomorrow. So make sure you guys stick around to the end of this episode to hear all the plays for the rest of this week and all of the important news. We do have a lot of important news in this episode, and we actually have a lot of great plays at the end of the video too. So make sure you stick around. And if you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. So let's get right into it, Tom. So what major news happened in the stock market today?
Once again, we hit all-time highs on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, which was very nice to see. And the Dow ended up, just lagging a little bit behind. And you can see that it just did not recover at the end of the day like the other two indices did. And really, the S&P and the NASDAQ both flew up today, while Apple kind of had a down day, which was kind of interesting to see. I mean, I know that Apple went up at the end of the day, so did the S&P 500, but I mean, overall, the market had a lot larger of a swing, and Apple overall ended the day kind of flat, even though the market, flew to all-time highs. I kind of expected to see, maybe Apple or even Tesla, fly more than it did today, considering how much they've been affecting the market lately.
I mean, I feel like we've been saying the SPY and the Dow hit all-time highs. I feel like we've been saying that every day for the past week.
Every day.
Yeah, for sure. But, the Dow is still lagging behind. The NASDAQ and the S&P 500, though, are really soaring, like we said, with the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Seems like we've been saying they hit new highs every single day for the past week. The Dow is gaining a lot of steam, though, so I would not.
Yeah, I mean, I know we played Caterpillar this morning, and that they had a nice pop this morning and then just tanked off for the whole rest of the day.
Well, that's kind of how Dow stocks work. Like with NASDAQ stocks, those tech stocks can just run and run and run, just like Tesla and Apple. But those Dow stocks are kind of weird. Like they have one big pop in the morning, and then they just kind of like trade flat, or just they're just totally different setups compared to some of these tech stocks that just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They're a lot slower movers, and really there's a lot more value stocks in the Dow. I mean, huge stocks like, Nike. I mean, I know Microsoft's in there. There's a few, tech stocks, of course, but, we have like Home Depot and going into really the Dow. I mean, Exxon Mobil actually just got kicked out of the Dow, which was really crazy to hear. And I mean, Exxon Mobil even ended up trading down around 3% today. Just a terrible trading day overall, and just a bad overall long-term chart and just how much the oil sector really fell whenever those futures almost hit $0 per barrel on crude oil. I think that really sent the energy sector really overall just into a free fall, and I think that really had a lot to do with Exxon getting kicked out of the Dow. But with that being said, I mean, they did add Salesforce, which is CRM, into the Dow, and they had earnings today, which were great as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they exploded on earnings. How much are they up right now after hours?
They're all the way up to 247.32, and they just keep pumping to new highs as we speak too.
Yeah, I mean, those call options are definitely going to explode tomorrow. But in regards to the Exxon Mobil news, I think that's going to tell us a lot about what's in store for the oil industry in the future. To see Exxon Mobil get kicked out of the Dow and be replaced by a tech stock. The tech stocks are really what's leading the market right now. And I just feel like this is just kind of like a blow to the oil industry,
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we have a bunch of bad stuff going on in oil right now also, like with the storms in the Gulf of Mexico. And I mean, that's just going to make things even worse right now with this. And I mean, with oil prices, I mean, I know that they're back up to around $30 or so, but if oil prices go down again, I mean, you're talking about Exxon and Mobil and maybe some oil companies potentially, having to file for bankruptcy and then maybe getting acquired by somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I know Exxon Mobil and Chevron are some of the top dogs, so I doubt they would file, but I'm sure like a lot of the more at-risk companies
like
would,
RIG.
yes, exactly.
Big.
Yeah, so yeah, some like the smaller oil companies would definitely take a hit, but I feel like if Trump wins the next election, I feel like that could benefit the oil industry.
Yeah, because he really boosted the U.S. output of oil and made us the largest producer of oil in the entire world, and I think that actually gave us somewhat of a control over the oil markets. I mean, obviously OPEC is multiple countries into one, so we just can't compete with that. But I mean, I know that we're producing the most, and that does weigh into the market somewhat.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So that could, not trying to get political, but I'm just saying, if Trump does win, that should benefit the oil industry. And then with CRM, so what happened with their earnings? Like what were the numbers behind this huge run up?
Yeah, they ended up hitting a $1.44 per share earnings adjusted versus 67 cents per share, which was expected. And that's great numbers to see. And I mean, man, this stock really is flying in after hours. It's already went up 40 cents since we were just talking a second ago. So,
Wow.
I mean, these options tomorrow are going to fly. And I know a ton of guys in our Discord were buying calls on this as well. And it's just another one of those tech stocks that just seems to just never stop. It's almost like Overstock, OSTK, that's very similar. I know Overstocks went down the past few days, but they were running up like this as well over the past like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really regretting some of the decisions I made because I saw CRM, I saw $35 million put into their calls before market close today. Someone put around $35 million into the 215 strike calls. They expire September 25th of 2020. So
Whoa.
that's a lot of money going ahead of earnings. So I guess it would have been impossible to know that they were longing them ahead of earnings. But I was really eyeing this option before the market closed. But overall, someone's really going to become pretty rich tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be insane. I mean, man, they're going to go get a new Lamborghini or something.
At minimum. I mean, we're talking about $35 million put into this position. This option might pop 400 or 500% tomorrow, or even more. So
They're going to go buy that Wolf of Wall Street yacht tomorrow.
oh god. So today's Discord member of the day is Skillet. Thank you, Skillet, for always sharing good positivity and just overall good vibes in the Discord chat. I saw Skillet talking about the new SM bonus today, Tom, that will be released set for Friday. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. So now for the momentum plays for tomorrow, and the first one is Starbucks. So we have a value stock here really running up. Starbucks is up about 5%. Overall, they have great relative volume, great momentum to the upside. What levels should we be watching for tomorrow?
Yeah, just try to watch for around $83. They did end up hitting around 83.05, so I guess you could say watch 83.05. But as long as they're above like 83 to 83.05, I think Starbucks will run tomorrow.
Yep. So only if it breaks above that 83 to 83.05 level, then we'd consider it to the upside. With the next play, we have Workhorse showing some nice solid upwards momentum, just up just under 11%. What levels should we be watching there?
Go ahead and watch for them to hit 18.26.
Gotcha. Again, to the upside. Then we have SHAK.
SHAK. I've actually only heard of this one very recently, but doing very well. I'd watch for them to break above, I would say 60.25. But if they do pop in pre-market, then just watch 60.50.
Yep. Again, that's to the upside. And last but not least, we have NIO.
Another electric car company. Watch for them to hit 18.50 or higher.
Yep, and then again to the upside. So all the plays, we would consider getting calls on them or buying the stock only if they break above the levels Tom listed. I saw someone asking in the comments yesterday, like, hey, if it breaks above the levels, what options and what expiration should I get? And, it really doesn't matter too much, but our recommendations are always, they're always meant for day trade. So they're always the weekly expiration with the at the money option. So, you don't have to do that. It's just a recommendation. Of course, if you want to play it safer, you can go in the money, or you can just go out a couple more weeks for expiration just to protect yourself. So now with the $3.6 million options trade for tomorrow, and we are looking at the Facebook $287.50 call options that expire this Friday, August 28th. Like I said, there's $3.6 million put into this play. Facebook has a ton of momentum right now. They broke all-time highs today. So, this is looking like a pretty good setup overall. The only risk with this play is that someone can be shorting these options, whether they're shorting them naked or they are shorting them as like in the form of covered calls. But overall, Facebook does have a lot of upwards momentum, and I can definitely see someone longing these options.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, man, Facebook has just been another one of those stocks that just followed Apple and all those other stocks up, and they're at all-time highs today again. And I mean, it's just one of those ones that, I mean, I would almost expect them personally just to be longing these, just because it hit all-time highs, and I would think that they would be expecting it to hit all-time highs tomorrow, or at least have some type of momentum to the upside.
Yeah, for sure. And then now for the comments from the previous episode. With the first comment, we have Paulie saying, "Hey guys, love the videos. What do you think about RKT for the long term?" So he's talking about the rocket companies like Rocket Mortgage. Pretty much, I have not done too much fundamental research on them. However, I have heard some really great things about Rocket, RKT, and they are breaking all-time highs. They broke all-time highs yesterday. Their all-time highs are sitting around $29.96. Overall, on a charting level, on a charting standpoint, they're doing pretty good. And like I said, I have not researched them
I think they
fundamentally.
IPO'd recently, didn't
Oh
they?
yeah, they did. They IPO'd on August 6th. So
Okay.
I have not researched them fundamentally too much yet, so I can't give you an analysis like that right now. But on a technical level, they are looking pretty good, and I have heard pretty good things about them.
Yeah, I mean, there's been tons of people in our Discord trading RKT all day. I mean, man, it's been one of those hot stocks that I've been hearing all the time, but I didn't really ever look into it, or even I didn't even know that Rocket Mortgage IPO'd at all.
Yeah, for sure. With the next comment, we have Vim saying, "How about AAL?" So, what do you think about AAL right now?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly still kind of think that these airline companies are honestly kind of like a good buy for the long term. I mean, it's a risky buy, so it's not something that I would say, to put a lot of it, into your portfolio. But really, I mean, I like these stocks still, for the longer term. I know that, Warren Buffett, got out of his position in the airlines, but I mean, other than that, I still think that there's a lot of growth potential for the long term, at least. And in the short term, it looks like that they had a terrible day today. So, I mean, really in the short term, I would be kind of wary on them, or I honestly probably would only look at puts on them if I played anything. But in the longer term, I do honestly think that they can come back from, $12 a share if we can actually get travel and stuff back up to par.
Yeah, I out of all the airlines, I like Southwest the best, which is LUV. They are one of the best airline stocks fundamentally, meaning just like their fundamentals, like their cash flow, their debt, things like that. While
But
American
Mike, I
Airlines,
can't make as high of a percentage return.
I know, but that's the trade-off, because American Airlines is one of the worst perform or the worst airline companies fundamentally, but they have like the biggest drop from their highs like in since the pandemic. So like you have like a better risk reward scenario with AAL. However, with like a company with like Southwest, you probably won't make as high of a return, but it's a lot safer. So that's the trade-off. Southwest is like the safer airline, while American Airlines right now is definitely one of the more risky airline stocks to look at.
Yeah, I would definitely go with Southwest. I mean, if anything with AAL, just trade options on it, because that'll be the safer thing, because obviously you're stuck within a certain time frame with your expiration.
I think right now the best thing to do with airlines is to sell naked puts. So pretty much you just sell a put. Like for example, right now Southwest is at $37. What you do is like you can go out to let's say you went out to like the October 16th expiration. If you sold like the $32.50 put, you will collect about $120 for that. If Southwest is above $32.50 by that expiration, then you just keep the premium. So you keep $120. If Southwest is at or below $32.50, all you have to do is buy 100 shares of Southwest at $32.50 each. So it's really a win-win if you plan on holding the stock for the long term. I would definitely consider doing cash secured puts on these airlines, because it's really a win-win. The worst case scenario is that you don't have to buy the stock and you just keep the premium. And the best case scenario is you have to buy the stock and then you can just hold it for the long term.
Yeah, and my favorite stock to do this on personally is Boeing, which I mean is another airline, but this one I think would be the best bet out of all of them to do it on.
Yeah, I mean,
But it would be more expensive because, you're talking about 100 shares at $174. So
right. And then again, Boeing isn't directly an airline. Like they make the planes,
yeah.
obviously. But I think Boeing is, they're not a direct airline play, but I think I would say they're safer than the airline plays because like we said, they're not directly an airline and they do have contracts, with the government and like the military too. So while airlines are only focused like for civilian use, at least Boeing, you have that military/government and civilian use. So it's like kind of like a double-edged sword. And they have good options too. With the next comment, we have Patel saying, level 2, how does that work? Can you please explain it to me? Thanks, I appreciate it. So absolutely. So the way level 2 works is it shows you so Tom pulled it up right here. On the left-hand side, you have all of the bids. On the right-hand side, you have the ask. Just as you guys probably already know, stocks, there is a spread between them. So the spread is the difference between the bid and the ask. So the level 2 just shows you how many buyers are at what price. So we can see on Tom's screen right now, we could see the bids from the different exchanges. So like, for example, Tom, if you want to read out like the bid from the ARCA and then the, everything like that, just so we could,
Yeah, so we have a bid right now on the ARCA for like 217.50, and then on the NASDAQ we have 217.50 again, and really it's all the same, and that's just because the market's closed. And then on the ask side, this is where the number normally changes because people are trying to ask a higher amount, for people to sell off at, and they're asking for 217.90, 217.93, and then 218.02. But if I go ahead and I believe if I go to SPY, these will be going right now. Yeah, I believe it's going live on SPY, so you can see it actually changing because SPY changes trades 24/5, so you can kind of see how it's working. So the bid is at like 344.46 right now, and the ask is at 344.49. So there's a little bit of a gap, a 3 cent spread on this. So I mean, it's not too big of a spread, but now you can see it change to 344.41, and now it's 344.44. So it really is just going to change all throughout the time, and then it'll even say BS, which is pretty much going to be like how many shares or how many lots are being traded.
Yeah.
So like
each one represents 100.
Yeah, so each time there's a 6, that means 600, right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So just a simple explanation is the bid and ask, or the level 2 is just the bid and ask. It shows you where the buyers are and where the sellers are, because whenever you buy a stock, someone is selling that to you, and whenever you sell a stock, someone is buying it from you. So it just shows you at what prices those other buyers and sellers are at. So it just gives you like a deeper dive into just like what the market is like. I don't know.
And sometimes like whenever the market's going, you'll see kind of like right now how there's a big bunch of orders for like 10 lots at 344.42. Like you'll see a big order, or you'll see a big placement where like you'll see like where the bid cannot break the ask at that level, or the ask can't break the bid at that level, where there's like a support or a resistance, for example. And you'll see a ton of buyers just come into the market then, or a bunch of sellers come into the market, and you can kind of judge what's going to happen within the next few seconds based on what's going on with the bid and ask sometimes.
Yeah.
But
So like
that's pretty advanced trading though.
Yeah. So like if you see a ton of volume at like a certain level, like if you see a bunch of people on the bid, that means the stock price is most likely going to go up. If you see a bunch of people on the ask, it means a bunch of people are selling, and the stock price is most likely going to go down. So it's pretty simple, but it can be advanced if you make it advanced. So with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for that news to come out on Thursday about the markets. I think that's going to really rock the markets. I mean, really overall in every way. But I mean, shout out to everybody holding Microsoft right now. Everybody who knows what's going on, and this play is going really well in after hours right now. So congratulations to everyone there.
For sure. Yep. So Tom is referring to the Powell speech on Thursday. Jerome Powell, who is the Fed chairman, is speaking on Thursday, and he can definitely have a very significant impact on the markets to the upside and the downside. So we have to wait until the speech is over to actually understand, what's what's in place for the economy. And if it's like something negative, then the stock market will fall. If it's a positive speech, then the market will most likely rally. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. Tom and I really appreciate all the support you guys give to the channel through the form of hitting that comment button or hitting that like button, leaving a comment down below, and subscribing. We really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. We are just under 25,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for that. If you guys want to trade the same options that Tom and I trade every single day, you can click the StockedUp options link in the description down below. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.